Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to talk today, during this next 20 minutes, about concrete research and conservation. I replace today my boss, Elisabeth Marie-Victoire, who is the head of the concrete department in the French Laboratory on Historical Monuments. The first researches in that field in LRMH and LRMH started in 1993. An empirical approach was adopted in 4 steps. The first step was identify the amount and nature of cultural heritage listed. The second step, through a series of visits and first analysis, identify the main visible decays and decay mechanisms. The third step was to develop specific tools for diagnosis, and the fourth step was to develop specific conservation treatments. So, let's begin by the cultural heritage listed. But why protecting buildings made of concrete? Among the rules of protection of cultural heritage, there are new developments in construction, new materials, and new technologies. Concrete is a material created in the middle of the 19th century. It's an innovative material. There are many patents registered at the end of the 19th century, and the creativity was stimulating in architecture with, for example, new shapes. So in France, there are several hundred of monuments listed with 2 approaches. Concrete is in traditional historical buildings and historical buildings made of concrete and ornaments. So an example of concrete in traditional historic building, it's the Reims Cathedral. It was heavy bombing in 1914. The oak framework was totally destroyed during the fire, and from 1919 there was 25 years of restoration work. Henri Deneux conceived a new framework made of concrete, but using traditional techniques. It's Philibert Delorme-like. It was a small precast element in concrete linked with keys. We can see here the precast element. I'm sorry. So, concerning historical building made of concrete, among the oldest, there are in Rhône-Alpes region, there are many examples of concrete, but this concrete is in fact without reinforcement. It's cast stone made of natural cement, so without reinforcement. And we can see here an example with a repetitive geometrical motif, and natural cement was used to mold ornaments like this with flowers and branches. And for a funny example with Vespasienne, which are urinal in Grenoble, made with cast stone. The first reinforced concrete, you can see here a picture of the construction of Saint-Jean-de-Montmartre Church, which is near the Sacré-Cœur in Paris. So the building system used here is, in France, a coffrage perdu, or lost formwork in bricks. You can see here the formworks in bricks. The bricks formwork is kept before the hardening of the concrete. So the bricks formwork is always present in the building. So concerning historical building made of concrete, there are many types of this building. There is apartment buildings. You can see 2 examples here with Le Flaine in the ski station Flaine in the Alps mountain. You can see too here a famous Cité radieuse in Marseille by Le Corbusier. there are so many types. So we can meet public buildings. Here, the Molitor Pool in Paris, the Art Center in Firminy by Le Corbusier, and a library in Clamart, near Paris, the Joyce Through Books. There are churches. You can see the example of Saint Joseph Church by Perret in Le Havre, with a bell tower, and Notre Dame Church in Royan, near Bordeaux. So, industrial buildings too, with an example of water tower in Luçon here, and the famous Onera wind tunnel to test plane in Meudon. So there are many examples of ornaments. For example, sculptures. We can meet raw, cast, carved, and sprayed concrete. You can see here many examples. We can, in ornaments, there are mosaics made of concrete in walls with glass past inserted in concrete. There are sculptures with ceramic plates pieces in blue houses in Dives-sur-Mer. And there are many examples of windows mixing concrete and glass. There are several types of glass and concrete thickness, with the different thickness, with glass slabs with several centimeters thick, and cathedral glass with a thickness lower than 1 centimeter. So different types always for windows mixing concrete and glass. You can see here an example with 3 concrete layers and 2 glass layers, and a crystal mix with cement mortar, and the eyes and the nose and the lips are made with cement paste. So let's talk about now the main decay mechanisms identified on this site. So first, what is concrete? It's an handmade material which is initially alkaline. It is often reinforced with steel, and it is more or less porous. So concrete is climate and pollution sensitive. So the decay's origin are mainly the composition and casting, the lack of maintenance, the natural aging, and the aggressive environment. So concerning these 2 last decades, the natural aging or aggressive environment, there are six main mechanisms: erosion and leaching, carbonation, chloride-induced corrosion, sulfate reaction, freeze-thaw sensitivity, and alkali aggregate reaction. I'm going now to present you the first mechanism. So, concerning the erosion and leaching, the wind leads to a concrete skin erosion, and the rainfall, which can be acidic, can lead to a leaching of the concrete skin. As you can see in this picture, the concrete skin is removed, and we can see now the aggregate. So, second decay mechanisms, the carbonation. This is a natural aging because we have an interaction with the concrete and CO2 and water. The portlandite, which is a major constituent of concrete, reacts with CO2 to give calcite plus water. So you can see here, it's a scanning electron microscopy picture, portlandite crystal, and formation of calcite crystal. So during this reaction, we have a pH decrease from 12-13 to pH value lower than 9, and these conditions are favorable to corrosion. So the carbonation leads to generalized corrosion. It depends to the rebar's position in relation to the carbonation front. And the CO2 diffusion is according to the first thick of flow, according to the time. So in terms of decay, we observe concrete heaving, scaling, and spalling. Concerning the chloride-induced corrosion, there are many chloride sources: chloride-containing admixtures, seawater with sea sprays, de-icing salts, and household waste incinerator. When in-house free chlorides reach the rebars, there is an increase of the standard corrosion. Chlorides are a catalyst for the standard corrosion. And when there is a high concentration of this free chloride, the passive layer of the steel is attacked with pitching. So the main decays are concrete heaving, scaling, and spalling, and they are specific with strange. Now, the sulfate reaction, there are two sulfate reactions. The first is the formation of black dirt deposits. So the calcite, given by the carbonation, reacts with sulfate in air to give gypsum. Gypsum is white. The gypsums react with aeolian particles, which are blacks, to give black dirt deposit. You can see here gypsum crystal and fly ash particle. So the main sulfate sources are urban and industrial pollution. So the sulfate reaction 2 is the formation of secondary yttringite. So the aluminate-enriched concrete plus high sulfate contents give the formation of secondary yttringite. So we have two possibilities. When yttringite is well crystallized in needles, like you can see here, it's harmless. But when yttringite is badly crystallized, like here, it can generate expansion. So sulfate sources are mainly urban and industrial pollution. So we can sum up the most common resulting visible decay. So we have spalling, rebar corrosion, cracks, black dirt deposits, and biological covering. You can recognize this, it's in these pictures. So I'm going to present to you now the LRMH research axis based to this observation. So concerning the diagnosis and the corrosion diagnosis, we perform many projects, internal, national, and European projects to measure, to work on electrochemical techniques, for example, to measure corrosion speed and resistivity. We worked on acoustic emissions to detect corrosion, and we worked too with techniques to measure moisture content. Concerning ancient cement identification, we performed internal project and European project, and we developed a specific protocol to identify ancient cement and particularly natural cements. For the restoration and conservation tool, we performed two national projects on black dirt deposit cleaning and biological covering elimination, and we identified distinct solutions for indoors, outdoors, facade, and sculptures. And we realized a technical book with all the recommendations. So concerning the carbonation-induced corrosion, we performed projects on realkalization, migrating corrosion inhibitor, and cathodic protection. For the chloride-induced corrosion, we are going to start a PhD with Laboratoire Central des Ponts et Chaussées in France for the electrochemical extraction of free chlorides. And for the erosion elixing and leaching, we're going to start an internal project on biological consolidation and chemical consolidation. I'm going to present you now the restoration strategies and examples. The restoration strategy are in 3 steps. The first step, the diagnosis, with six steps protocol elaborated. Second step, the cleaning, black dirt deposits and biological covering. And third step, the specific treatments like corrosion treatments or patch repairs. So I'm going to show you 2 examples. The first example is Maison du Brésil in Cité Universitaire in Paris. So this building was built between 1957 and 1959 by Le Corbusier and Lucio Costa. It was protected as historical building in 1985. So this building was closed in 1995 for safety reasons, for example, electricity. And the diagnosis in 1998 shown numerous casting defects, like on a combi and poor concrete cover, as you can see here. The diagnosis shown that the precast panel was carbonated inner face up to 40 millimeters, and the aggregates were AAR sensitive. So, concerning the restoration work, this restoration work was performed from 1999 to 2000. For the structure and claustra, there was on-site treatment, and for the precast canal, they were identically recast. So, the structure and the claustra, the cleaning was performed using abrasive projection, networked wet projection, you can see here, and patch repair with cement-based mortar were realized. This mortar was slightly pigmented, and it was adapted depending on the color variation of the ancient concrete. Always for the structure and claustra, there was a reproduction of the Le Corbusier color. You can see here. And for the precast panels, so where it was a removal and identically recast, and it was a research on aggregates and texture to reproduce the same appearance. So in the north wall, there was an experimental treatment using a migrating corrosion inhibitor. It was for panels and portico, plus balcony nose on the western facade. So you can see here the results before and after the restoration. And in 2013, there is a very good durability of the restoration. So, second example, it's Saint Lazare Church in Lèves. This church was totally destroyed during the Second World War, and it was rebuilt between 1952 and 1956. It was listed in 2002, and the bas-reliefs were made of polychromatic, as you can see here, concrete by Jean Lambert Rupi. So, concerning the visible decays of this bas-relief, we observed bas-relief detachments and cracks and white concretions. We observed numerous spalling, here, and here, and here. And we observe black dirt deposits and biological covering. We observe two polychromatic disappearing. When the bas-relief was protected, there was a polychromy loss, and where it was protected, the polychromy was preserved. So it was carved concrete. You can see here the artist with multi-layer concrete. So the diagnosis shown low carbonation depths with locally low concrete covers. The diagnosis shown secondary etchingite linked to light urban pollution, and the pigments were mineral with mainly iron oxides. So here, the restoration protocol. The restoration work was initiated in 2004. There was firstly a soft cleaning with abrasive projection, then a biocide treatment, migrating corrosion inhibitor applied. For the cracks, there were grout injections. Then there was the polychromy restoration. And for the protection, there was an installation of canopy extension. You can see here the result after cleaning and biocide treatment. So you can see here a picture before restoration and after restoration with the canopy. And the other results on the entire facade. So in conclusion, there is a constant increase of monuments listed with cultural heritage made of concrete. There is a great variety of the heritage classified, buildings, ornaments, glass windows, and two, there is a great variety of concrete, and probably soon, high performance concrete and white cement. So concrete historical buildings, there are needs for specific researches in monitoring, restoration, conservation, and for concrete restoration works, it was not much explored. It's an hard task. Thank you for your kind attention.